Hello artists and welcome to the Fiber Art Center. We are on level C today. Let's get started. First things first, I'm going to be in my sketchbook and I'm going to need to put my name up at the top of my sketchbook paper. I'm going to circle Fiber Art and I'm on level C, so I'm going to put a C right there. Alright, we're going to set our sketchbooks off to the side here. We'll be working kind of on our green mat, so I have a messy mat out ready to go for myself. Alright, Fiber Art level C. I can set up a popsicle stick loom, okay? I can weave using wrapping technique, and I can finish off the popsicle stick loom. Alright, so what we're going to be making today, we call this a yarn square, and we're going to be really practicing wrapping with yarn and on a loom. So the first thing that I want to show you here is the level C bucket. In the level C bucket, we have a hot glue gun, we have some popsicle sticks, and we have a roll of tape here. You are going to need to plug in the hot glue gun, and then you will be creating your loom using that. So let's go on over to where I have the hot glue set up, and we'll take a look at how to do the loom. Alright guys, so here we are over at the loom area. We're over at the Fiber Art Center area. There we go. We can kind of see everything that's going on over in the center. And we see that here I have one of these hot glues already plugged into the wall. It's already warmed up. It does take a couple minutes to warm up. You'll need 2 popsicle sticks here. I'm going to set down this camera. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I need to be extremely careful with the hot glue. It is very hot on the end. That's how it gets warm, so I cannot touch that metal part. You can always ask for help with this part. Please ask for help if you need it. I'm going to take one of my popsicle sticks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dab of hot glue right there, just a little one. It doesn't take much. I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to make a plus sign. That's all I'm doing. I'm just making a plus sign with my popsicle sticks. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hot glue dries fairly quickly, so I should be, by the time I get back to my station, I should be able to loom. Second thing I want to take a look at here for you guys is how to use the yarn buckets. You will be getting yarn for this, about 2 to 3 pieces of yarn. When you go to find your yarn, you're going to notice the yarn is in these holes. The yarn's in the holes. Let's see, we're upside down. Let's fix that. Come on, Mrs. Nichols. There we go. You're going to see that the yarn are coming out of these holes. This is so that the yarn doesn't get tangled with each other. And you're going to see that there's scissors. They are on here with string. They stay with the center. They don't go anywhere else. Okay, so when I'm cutting my yarn, what I'm going to do is I am going to pull on the yarn I want. I need to have it about an arm's length or so. And then when I cut the yarn, I'm not going to cut it all the way up here. Let's see if I can make this clear. There we go. I'm not going to cut it all the way up here because then the yarn will just fall back in the hole. Instead, I'm going to cut it down here closer so there's a tail sticking out for the next person. When I have that, then I can go back to my center. I only want to do 2 or 3 pieces at a time that are at arm's length. Alright guys, we're back here ready to do. We've gotten the popsicle stick loom made into a plus sign or an X. And then we are going to take a piece of that tape from the bucket. We're going to make a small little piece here. And I've also got my 2 pieces of yarn. I can always go back and go get more. But I want to start off with about 2 pieces arm's length. Okay, I'm going to stick my tape. I've got my yarn stuck to the tape here, and I'm going to stick it on one of the sides of my popsicle stick. When I stick it on, the tape will be hidden. It will be hidden. It will disappear. Then I'm going to turn it around on this side. I put it so that, look, my yarn tail goes in between 2 of the spots. On the other side of this spot here, I'm going to go ahead and put the number 1 in pencil. I'll erase these later. Number 2 off over on this side, number 3 over here, and number 4 on the last side. And this will help me keep track of where I need to go first. Okay, so when I'm starting this, I like to keep it so that my numbers are facing one direction. I'm going to be turning this. That's why I labeled them as numbers. To start this is the trickiest part. You might need to try it a couple times. All right, I'm going to go over across to number 1. I want to end up between number 1 and number 4. Then I'm going to wrap it around on the bottom. See, look at that. Around on the bottom. And then look, I'm going to go directly to the opposite side of 2. I didn't go on top over here. Nope, I got to go under on the opposite side to 2, between 2 and 3. Wrap it around. Then I'm going to turn it. I like to turn it. And then I'm going to go between 3 and 4 underneath. Wrap it up again. Between 4 and 1, wrap it up again. And I'm going to keep going around each side, just like that. I'm going to go between 2 and 3 for this next one. Wrap it around. See, it's making a square on this side. On this side, look, it's starting to make an X pattern. So I'm going to keep those numbers up around in between 3 and 4, in between 4 and 1, in between 1 and 2, and I'm just going to keep going until I run out of the yarn. I am going to pause the video here and do some of this movie magic so that I can show you how to switch colors. All right, as you notice here, I'm getting to the tail end, but look, I have more space on my yarn. So I grabbed this pretty piece of blue yarn. I'm going to show you how to connect them. Notice here as I've been wrapping these, look how close those are together. There's no gaps. I don't see the popsicle stick underneath of where the yarn is. That way, these are nice and tight on top, and I cannot see any of the popsicle stick or tape underneath. This is what will start happening. It'll start forming into a square. All right, so I'm at a stopping point. I'm just going to put this down on the table so I don't lose my spot. I'm going to remember that I'm between 3 and 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and knot my yarn into the next one. I'm going to take it's right over left and left over right. So with my right piece of yarn, I'm going to put it like an X. Then I'm going to loop it around. Okay, with that same color. Now look, my green one's on the left now. And the left will now go on top of the right. The left will now go on top of the right and go through the loop, just like your shoelace. Right over left, left over right. If you do it this way, the knot won't slip out. Right over left, left over right. And then I'm going to get it through here. I'm going to pull it tight, and then look, it won't slip out. I can clip the ends of this with a pair of scissors. For movie making magic, I'm not going to take the time because I'm going to keep wrapping this so that we can get to the end so I can show you how to finish this off. All right, and then when I kept going, look, now that knot where that yarn was, where I connected the two, you can't barely see it. I only know it's right there because I kept track of where it was. All right. Now when I'm starting to run out of the yarn, look, I am almost done and I'm really getting close to my numbers here. I do want to make sure that there is a little bit left here so that it doesn't slip off. So you don't want to get it too close to the edge. But when I'm noticing I'm getting really close to the end of my yarn, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to grab another piece of tape. I'm going to go in between my numbers like normal, but then all I'm going to do is I'm going to catch it on here. And then I'm just going to put it kind of in the middle here so that I can just tape it right in the middle, just like that. And look at that. It will just stay there, just like that. Happy creating!